and see the comments. I didn't even wonder. I don't even have power to start posting the comments here. No, Ghanaians can't do this. How can they do it? It must be Nigerians. I'm like, Even if eventually they bring out the people who did it and they say they're Nigerians, but you really sit and just vow that your people cannot do this? For every Yahoo, there is a Sakawa. You know that, right? And who are those doing that? Who are those? For Sakawa to come out, that means there is a Ghanaian version of it for you to have your own name for it. But hey, it must be Nigerians. For you Ghanaians, there was a time our country was like yours. We've not heard about kidnapping before. We've not heard about insecurity issues the way it is in the north. But all of a sudden, it just started one day. And then we are where we are today. Just like you, we blamed people. We blamed our neighboring countries. Oh no, Nigerians cannot do this. Why? Because we love to enjoy, we love life. So no, Nigerians cannot do this. But we are where we are today. Something just starts one day. I wish when the thing started in Nigeria, that time, when we're at that point where what's the word now? We're still delusional, thinking that it cannot be us doing it, that there must be people coming in, instead of us to see a crime and tackle it. But because we wanted to behave like, oh no, it cannot be us, it cannot be us. The thing festered and festered. Even if it wasn't our people that were doing it then, maybe our people bought into it and then they all started doing it. You get what I'm saying? So now, like I said, we are where we are today. Because first of all, we lived in denial. And when we decided to accept it, it looked like it was a bit too late. I will tell you guys for free, Ghanaians, whether they're Nigerians, they are Burkinabes, they are Senegalese, they are Ivorians, they are Benin-Noirs, there is a crime, kidnapping happening on your soil. So if you want to sit down and start thinking about the nationality doing it, I just pray you don't get to the point where Nigeria got to, that we are still dealing with it today. So if you want to sit down and want to always come, no, Ghanaians cannot do this. But yes, maybe Ghanaians cannot do it. But is it happening in your soil? It is happening. That should give you cause for concern. But if you want to sit down and want to start thinking about it must be Nigerians, okay, it must be Nigerians, maybe, but where are they doing it? Okay, people. You see, I've tried to refrain myself from talking about this particular issue because of how sensitive it is and because the life of a young, promising Senegalese is involved, an African brother, an African brother is involved. So I didn't want to talk about it in the regard that they have now forced me to, because it is a very sensitive issue and it's not, we should know when we should be sober and when we should more or less unite. That's the word. When we should know when to unite against the enemy, irrespective of the nationality. But then, when such things happen, that's when we start looking for which national did it, instead of who is the criminal or criminals who did that. We forget the issue and we start chasing shadows. Anyway, if you're new here, my name is Osih-Oyelude. Thank you so much for joining. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. If you are a returning viewer, thank you. If you are a first-time viewer, I thank you so much. All right. This thing has given me cause for concern. What am I talking about? I mean, some days ago, social media was awash by the story of a young Senegalese goalkeeper who was led to Ghana under the guise that they were bringing him to Ghana to play for a club, and hopefully good scouts coming from Europe would see him and um, take him to Europe to play. And trust me, who wouldn't want that for their career, especially a young guy of his age, and where he's coming from. From what we learned, he is not really from a wealthy background. I mean, who wouldn't want that? Especially when you know where you're coming from. You just want to take any opportunity that comes your way, right? So yeah. So I think on social media, he met up with these people. Eventually, they found out they were fake people, they were scammers. They lured him to Ghana, and then the story is what we are all dealing with today. He was eventually unalived, and then that's where the real story started. Someone like I want to understand what the issue really is with Nigerians and Ghanaians, because from bant, we banter, it's getting into something else, right? It's getting into something else. I try to choose my words carefully because I still leave room for, okay, they are the people who we are closest to by virtue of the fact that we speak English. But as the day or as some things unfold, it's looking like no, there is something fundamentally wrong somewhere. But you can't tell me that um, something would just happen in their country. Something very terrible would happen. And then the first people you want to think about is the Nigerians. You just put it on the doorsteps of Nigerians, even when there is no evidence to prove it. They don't always even have evidence. They don't always have evidence. Now, a young guy by the name Cheikh Toure from Senegal is murdered in your country. One would have thought that the first thing that would come into your mind is there is a criminal who has done this. Let's all unite to fish out the criminal. Let's all come together. Because the life of a young star has been cut short by men of the underworld. But then you leave the issue, you start chasing shadows. One would think the way they all started saying it's Nigerians. Of course, Ghanaians cannot do this. It's the Nigerians. It's the Nigerians. It must certainly be the Nigerians because, of course, kidnapping is in Nigeria that it happened. So these kidnappers must be Nigerians. They lured the guy from Senegal to Ghana. It must be Nigerians. Something happened on your soil. And the first thing that would have a right-thinking person would have done is to say, hey, a crime has been committed. Who did this crime? Not what nationality committed this crime. And go to social media. All the posts, even some media organizations or some, not mainstream media, some influencers with, a large following, all of them insinuating that the people who did this are Nigerians. And go to their comment section. All of them, oh, Ghanaians cannot do this. Like, how unjust, how terrible can you guys be when the issue is still under investigation? Both your security operatives and that of the Senegalese working together to get to the root of the matter, to investigate the matter. But then you guys have gone to town to say they are Nigerians. Why? Because you just don't like Nigerians? You see, as of the time of doing this video, we've not heard from the security operatives to know exactly the nationality because It's like that is what they are all interested in. They don't want to, it's not, they don't want to get the criminal. They just want to know that the criminal or the people who did it are just Nigerians. Because of course, if they hear that the people who did it, they are from maybe Burkina Faso or Benin Republic, it's not going to be anything that serious to them. They just really want it to be Nigerians. And you see, I didn't want to make this video. I wanted to make this video after, hopefully, the security people, find the culprits. I actually told myself that is when I was going to make this video, irrespective of who eventually did it, even if they are Nigerians. I will sit down here and condemn it in strongest terms, even if they are Nigerians. Because you see, it's a family that is mourning. The young guy, about 20-something-year-old, it's his life that they've taken. So I don't even care who did that. Even if the person is related to me, you just take the life of another person and you will pay dearly for it. You see, what you guys don't know is that you're dealing with a serious issue. It's because you're so focused on the nationality, you're leaving the main issue at hand. And if what does it oh, you see, Nigeria, we're already at a situation, at a point where we've owned our mess. If you say kidnapping happens in our country, okay. If you say insecurity issues, okay. Are we working? Do we like it? Absolutely not. Are the government trying to bring it to, solve it? Maybe they are. But are they trying hard enough? I don't know. But you see, for you Ghanaians, there was a time our country was like yours. We've not heard about kidnapping before. We've not heard about insecurity issues the way it is in the north. But all of a sudden, it just started one day. And then we are where we are today. Just like you, we blamed people. We blamed our neighboring countries. Oh no, Nigerians cannot do this. Why? Because we love to enjoy, we love life. So no, Nigerians cannot do this. But we are where we are today. Something just starts one day. I wish when the thing started in Nigeria, that time, then we're at that point where what's the word now? We're still delusional, thinking that it cannot be us doing it, that there must be people coming in, instead of us to see a crime and tackle it. But because we wanted to behave like, oh no, it cannot be us, the thing festered and festered. Even if it wasn't our people that were doing it then, maybe our people bought into it and then they all started doing it. You get what I'm saying? So now, like I said, we are where we are today. Because first of all, we lived in denial. And when we decided to accept it, it looked like it was a bit too late. I will tell you guys for free, Ghanaians, whether they're Nigerians, they are Burkinabes, they are Senegalese, they are Ivorians, they are Beninois, there is a crime, kidnapping happening on your soil. So if you want to sit down and start thinking about the nationality doing it, I just pray you don't get to the point where Nigeria got to, that we are still dealing with it today. So if you want to sit down and want to always come, no, Ghanaians cannot do this. But yes, maybe Ghanaians cannot do it. But is it happening in your soil? It is happening. That should give you cause for concern. But if you want to sit down and want to start thinking about it must be Nigerians, okay, it must be Nigerians, maybe. But are the Nigerians doing it? Where are they doing it? It can be anyone doing it. But the bottom line should be that a crime, kidnapping, insecurity, kidnapping or whatever it is, scamming, is being done on your soil. Now, what does it change if you sit down here and identify the nationality? But the issue at hand, it didn't solve it. Instead of them to see a crime, they just want the nationality to be, the nationality of the criminals to be Nigeria so bad. Like even when the statement released by their security operators it's so, even if they have not even said maybe revealed the nationality, that is if they are going to, but it's all already pointing towards another direction, not the direction of Nigerians. See what was released by one of their security operatives, and it says, authorities at the Mania Government Hospital confirmed to the police that the victim, Cheikh Toure, was brought in with stab wounds on his lower abdomen and neck. They examined the body and realized he was brought in dead. The hospital indicated that the three men who brought in Cheikh Toure's body spoke only French. So they called an interpreter who initially said that they were alleging that the victim was in an accident. But they later changed their statement to say that he attempted suicide 3 days earlier. He attempted suicide 3 days earlier. That's coming from DSP Godwin Ahianyo. I hope I got that pronunciation right. You see, look at the contradicting stories. First, they said he was involved in an accident, and then later, he attempted suicide. Like, I'm more disappointed that people who are supposed to know, some of them, I know that there are some people who just want to use the name of Nigeria to catch crews. Those with numbers, those that have a large following, that I saw them even, you see, they are so that they try to be smart by half. Some of these, they are influencers in Ghana. All what they are saying is that they are saying Nigeria. The only difference is that they are just not calling the name Nigeria. And go to their comment section. People like them, all of them, they must be Nigerians. Oh, of course, Ghanaians don't do this. But you see, the questioning supposed to start with those people who brought the guy. Now everybody is saying Nigeria, Nigeria. But you see, now today, even if eventually they do their investigation and they find out that they are Nigerians, a crime has been committed. They should face the music. They should face the music. But if you're just going to sit down there and just insinuate without proof, without any investigation, without anything from security operatives, and just come to the conclusion that these are Nigerians, or it must be Nigerians that have committed this crime, it's really sad. It's really sad. But you see, I just pray for you people. I really do pray for you people that you don't, in an attempt to pretend that all is well, that anything evil happening there must be Nigerians. But if the good ones that happen there are done by Nigerians, you say, of course, they learned it from Ghanaians. But the bad thing happening there, or the bad things happening there, of course, Nigeria came to teach Ghana the bad things. But like I said, I pray for you guys that you will not all in an attempt to cover up or be all sanctimonious, be all holy, we cannot do this. It is brewing. And by the time it blows up on your faces, I've said it before, and I'm saying it again. Maybe in this kind of situation, this kind of things, we Nigerians are already down. And you know who is down in this kind of situation? Fears no fall. It's you people that feel like you will have to go on to be seen in a particular light, and then covering your mess. That whenever it happens, because there is a light, you want to be seen. Whenever your mess happens, it's Nigerians, because you want to be the holy one. Nigerians has to be the ones doing the criminal things or the shits happening in your country, right? It's okay. Like I said, in this, there is nothing you want to talk about kidnapping or insecurity that you want to use to shame Nigerians. We've owned our mess, and we will solve it. It's our shit. It's our problem. We will test it. We've been dealing with it. It's been overwhelming, but we will continue to deal with it. But you see, Instead of you guys to come together and say, hey, there is something happening here. Not once, not twice. But you guys are like particular about the nationality doing it than what exactly they are doing. We all know how it always ends up because we've been here. I tell you, when we were here, as far back as, let me say, sometime like, let's say the early days of Obasanjo's government, let's say 1999, 2000, 2001, we were like you people. That was when that thing of Boko Haram started coming. We started hearing little things happening, and we started hearing a little bit of them. Just little things like this. We could beat our chest. That wasn't Nigerians doing it. That they must be coming from neighboring countries, especially our northern neighbors. But where are we today? The earlier you open your eyes, and you see the funniest thing, when you know that even if there is a particular nationality, you think they are the ones doing it. You think your government can wake up one day and say, hey, everybody pack. If you're not a Ghanaian, pack. They can't even do it. Because there are people who are living legally. Unless you want to drive the illegal ones, which, yes, there is a government procedures to do that. But every country have immigrants living there. So the earlier you stop looking at nationality, because sometimes you look at nationality, but then again, you have to ask further or investigate deeply to find out who gives them the grounds or who gives them the place to do it. It's happening in Ghanaian soil. That should tell you people something. You want to tell me that people living around them, the Ghanaians living around them, don't know what they do? If there are Nigerians doing anything there or Ivorians doing anything there? Now you guys are not ready for this conversation. You're not ready. Because why? You want to see the other person. And you're forgetting that when you point one finger forward, the remaining four are pointing at you. You always forget that. You always forget that. Why? Because it's always an attempt to come off like the very innocent ones, the ones that are devoid of crime, the ones that are just like they don't have anything bad that happens in their country. It must be people who are importing people into their countries to do it. Have you wondered why everybody, if you feel like foreigners are coming to do that, have you wondered why, what is giving them that ground, or why is that ground fertile? Why are they all leaving their countries to your country? If you think that there are foreigners doing this, why are they leaving their countries to your country to do it? That should be another question you should ask. But then Nigerians you think they are Nigerians, and these Nigerians lure them out, and they didn't lure them to Nigeria, they lured them to your country. You guys are not ready for this conversation. As of the time of doing this video, we still don't know the nationality, since we are all waiting to hear the nationality. If they're able to find out the nationality that committed the crime, even if they're Nigerians, I will come here to do it. Mark my word. I'm a patriotic Nigerian. I am somebody that love my country so much. I am somebody that carries my country like this. But if you mess up as a Nigerian and they're able to prove it, they bring up proof that you did this, you are my enemy already. I don't even care whether you are my brother, you're my enemy. As long as you want to take another person's life for no reason, for your selfish interest, miss me with that. That's it. So continue seeing nationality. Don't see the common enemy here. Don't see the criminal. Continue. In any case, they have not even proven that. It's like the nerve of you guys to just, it must be Nigerians. Like, oh, Nigerians, we don't suffer. Ah, we don't suffer. Like, they just throw it there. Go and see the comments. I didn't even wonder. I don't even have power to start posting the comments here. No, Ghanaians can't do this. How can they do it? It must be Nigerians. I'm like, even if eventually they bring out the people who did it and they say they're Nigerians, but you really sit and just vow that your people cannot do this? For every Yahoo, there is a Sakawa. You know that, right? And who are those doing that? Who are those? For Sakawa to come out, that means there is a Ghanaian version of it for you to have your own name for it. But hey, it must be Nigerians. Like I said, you guys are not ready for this conversation. You're not. The repeated scapegoating feels unwarranted, trust me. And I question what, really, what some Nigerians, what you guys are still doing there. Honestly, because if they will keep, it's not going to end today. If they'll keep pointing, accusing fingers on you people, blame you guys for everything bad that happens in that country, insecurity-wise, it's not going to end. It's not. It's so sad that they have eventually turned it into a thing about nationality. We are all eager to know which nationality did that. It's not supposed to be so. We are all supposed to be eager to know the criminal who did it, but they want to know the nationality. No problem. If they eventually are not Nigerians, if they are also Nigerians, that's all I would say. We will revisit this issue. Regardless of the nationality, if we find out who did that, for the sake of that young guy whose life was cut short, no, the person who did that, I mean, will hear from me. We are waiting. Since we are all waiting for the nationality, Abi, we are waiting for the person and their nationality. I don't care if they are Nigerians. I don't care. So let me just put it out there. And to think that they said this family actually paid a ransom first when they contacted them to pay ransom, they paid, they gathered money, they paid. It was when they asked for the second time that they couldn't get it and they ended up taking the guy's life. I just don't get it. Why they have to get to that point where they had to take the guy's life, even when they have given them something. And like I said earlier, I heard the guy's family, that does know well to do. But you took the guy's life after they have paid something. No, that person, the people who did that, they must not go unpunished too, irrespective of who they are. They must not go unpunished. They must not. So, in conclusion, let all start using our heads and not our emotions. We should address the big elephant in the room, the criminals. We should unite against the criminal or the criminals. Because if they are not in Nigeria, maybe they will run to Benin, or they will run to Cameroon, or they will run to Ghana. If you chase them there are other countries they will run to. If you chase them, if they are Ghanaians, if Ghana is too hot for them, they can run to any other country to do it. But you see, the bottom line is that wherever they run to, they are criminals. So that is how we should treat them. But if all of us want to continue to look for the nationality, okay, if it's Nigerian, so it's big. But if it's Ghanaians that did it, or people from Togo, you will treat it like nothing. Anyway, it is happening in your country. And the earlier you deal with the issue, the better for you. That's all I have to say. Anyway, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. I see you again in my next video. Bye for now.